important local coverage. You're watching WISN 12 News at 10.
Hey, I got someone. Hey, we just saw him slam a squad car.
News Chopper 12 over a driver slamming into a police car as protests continue in the streets of Milwaukee after curfew.
All I know it was nonsense because violence ain't gonna get nothing done.
A policing house in Racine named for a community activist set on fire who officials believe is to blame. And the Waukesha pastor who says he was moved by what he witnessed today. Police taking a knee with protesters. First at 10, a live look at Milwaukee where a curfew is in effect at this hour. It began at 9 o'clock tonight. It goes until 5:30 tomorrow morning. This is the view from our camera on the ground at Milwaukee and Water. You can see police vehicles there on the scene as protesters make their way through downtown Milwaukee. Joyce.
All day we've seen more protests in Milwaukee, Racine, Waukesha, and across the nation. And this comes on the same day President Trump threatened military action if the violence did not stop. The president made the announcement as peaceful protesters just outside of the White House gates were hit with tear gas, flash grenades, and rubber bullets. This was to clear the crowd as the president made his way to a nearby church for a photo. During his address today, you could hear the flashbangs detonate in the background.
America is founded upon the rule of law. It is the foundation of our prosperity, our freedom, and our very way of life. But where there is no law, there is no opportunity. Where there is no justice, there is no liberty. Where there is no safety, there is no future.
The president then walked over to that church, the scene of a fire over this past weekend. He held a Bible in front of the cameras. Patrick?
All right, Joyce, 12 News' Ben Wagner is live right now in Milwaukee. Ben, we've been looking at those images. Protesters are in the streets again tonight after curfew.
Right, Patrick. I've stepped out of the frame here. It looks like law enforcement is putting down something. They just threw it at one of those vehicles trying to break through the law enforcement barrier there. It looks like it's spike strips, but we're a little far away. But you can see that they have blocked off. That's Water Street at Milwaukee, and they have that entire area blocked off right now. That is right where protesters had just turned from Milwaukee onto Water within the last 10 minutes. There were hundreds of people along with several dozen cars following behind and honking here as well. And as you mentioned, Patrick, it is past curfew, and folks are subject now to that $691 fine. AJ, if you can see over there on Water, they've got those spike strips up. Again, keeping people from going further on Water. I'm trying to listen in what we're hearing. A little bit of yelling over there. But this is all happened. This scene that we're looking at right now has just happened within the last 2 minutes. That police vehicles have turned their lights on and that they have blocked off this section. Again, the protesters had just turned around that apartment building corner just moments ago. So there were hundreds of people here. They've turned that way, and since they have made that right turn, police officers, law enforcement have barricaded the behind the protesters there. And as you saw just a moment ago, it looked like an officer in tactical gear. It looked like he threw what appeared to be a spike strip at a vehicle that just ended up turning around. It looks like your view from the camera is a lot better than mine because we're zoomed in here. I'm a good distance back, guys, but a photographer is telling me that it looks like somebody was arrested here.
Right, it looks like they're taking someone
at the intersection again.
Right, Ben, it looks like they have someone or taking someone into custody right now. But if we can pan back over as well, it appeared as if at one point in one of your shots there, as if the officers there at the scene were holding up some type of weapon. Have you seen anything fired in the direction of the protesters? Or we got you right at that moment when it looked like spike strips were thrown at that vehicle that was coming through the intersection. Have you seen anything else out there? I know you said this is developing within the last couple minutes.
It really has. I haven't seen any sort of weapon. Again, your view is a lot better than mine. I am several blocks back from where we are, so the zoom on that camera lens is really helping us out a lot right now because we're making sure we are a safe distance back as well. It looks like more law enforcement turning down Water Street there, as it looked like a car was driving the wrong way down Water Street again as well. So law enforcement is certainly stepping up its presence here within right about as we hit the 10 o'clock hour, Patrick. And again, if you can see something again through the camera lens and through our pictures, let me know. But we are watching this.
So Ben, give us an idea how far
We just heard someone yell, "Drop the gun!" And this is right at the core. Yeah,
it looks like someone's coming out of that blue vehicle right
law
there.
Enforcement has. Can you guys hear that bullhorn?
We can't make out what they're saying.
Okay. So they do have somebody out of that car now.
Right, so what we're seeing, Ben...
And we heard pretty clear from...
Go ahead.
Patrick, we heard pretty clear, drop the gun from law enforcement. And it looks like they have weapons drawn right now from what I can see.
Do you know, was that vehicle
coming out of that car now?
Was that vehicle in the intersection before when we saw the, when we were zoomed in, our camera was zoomed in before, we saw officers there holding up weapons and pointing it in that direction. Do you know if that vehicle was parked in the intersection or did it just pull up?
It looked like it just pulled up, honestly. I think this is the first, just now is the first time that I have seen it. It did not look like it had been there for very long before officers and deputies there moved in. And we've got more law enforcement, more tactical vehicles moving here to this intersection. But it looks like they've got 2 people at least who are in police custody right now. Again, Patrick, we heard pretty clear from officers. They said drop the gun. It looks like everybody is